Hey y'all, it's Anime Kim, and today I'm going to be reviewing Knights of the Zodiac Saint Seiya Episode 1. And I gotta say, as a person whose first experience with Saint Seiya is this specific episode, I gotta say, I enjoyed what I got. Because, for the most part, while this episode went super fucking quick, I do like how at the very least, it explains its plot through natural means, not through bullshit exposition dumps. So I gotta give it props to that. Because I like how at the very start, it starts with intrigue and it kind of reels you in when all of a sudden these military soldiers that are under Vander try to go after Seiya and his sister, pretty much trying to gun him down. Until he's saved by this knight who pretty much saves, for some reason, Seiya's sister, then leaves. And that right there is a cool way to start the episode, because with it starting with action like that, and then just the first minute, it makes you go, holy shit, where else could this lead? That wasn't necessarily the thought that I had when watching the episode, because at first I was kind of confused, but then as we get more information on the episode, I was like, you know what? The start of the episode actually works, so I gotta give the writing staff props for that. And in addition to that, I do like how this episode gets things out of the way, because we do get a character goal for Seiya, because midway in, we find out that apparently there's these beings called the Knights who have supernatural abilities, and Seiya one day, when he's dealing with these people that were messing with them, he pretty much beats them up, but then he uses these like special abilities to take them down, and then that video footage gets released online, and then he gets captured by this old man, who then explains everything to him, and I was like, oh, jeez. Because I like how afterwards it kind of raises the stakes, because I like how they explain that gods and goddesses fight against each other, and then there's the antenna that wants to protect the world, but she needs the Pegasus Knight in order to protect her, which is actually Seiya. And during all this, I like that, because it shows you that these fights here, in the series, they're going to have a lot of fucking meaning. So already I do like how things are raising in intensity through those dialogue sequences, and they felt natural, because from the perspective of a new fan, I kind of have the same perspective as Sam in regards to not knowing what the fuck is going on until a character explained all of that. So I like that. How you phrase things as a question and they were all answered. It made the dialogue of the episode flow quite naturally. So that's why I thought from a script standpoint it was engaging. And it was interesting too how this Golden Knight came on Earth, and it gave this baby to the old man that explained things to Seiya to take care of. And then I like how it explained how eventually Vander kind of became corrupted and greedy, because now he wants to have technology that can stack up against the gods. And I even like how you see some of the perspective from the antagonist when he even mentions stuff like, what if, say, the gods were going to attack the earth? In that situation, what would people do? And I like that too. It shows you that while the motivations of the antagonist aren't exactly squeaky clean, at the very least shows you somewhat where he's coming from too. So I also like that, because at the very least the main antagonist has somewhat of a purpose, at least the Vander antagonist introduced so far, because we're probably going to see some evil gods and goddesses as shown off, not as shown off, but as mentioned in this episode. So I kind of like that too. It's kind of covering its bases, not just to making the main protagonist interesting, but the main bad guy interesting too. And then it leads into some action set pieces where the main character escapes, and Sienna also escapes too, and all that kind of jazz. It ends off in like an interesting cliffhanger, and I gotta say overall I was relatively entertained and it wasn't confusing. Like, all the information was presented nicely. Now, from a character standpoint, I like Seiya's sarcasm, and I do like how he acts like a boy. Because let's just be realistic. If a person was tasked of saving the world, most people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, crazy ass motherfucker?" So I like that, how Seiya didn't just act like a boy scout, being like, "You know what? Yeah, I want to save the world." No, I like how he's like, he wants to get the fuck out of there, and he doesn't want to be involved with any of this bullshit until you have the old guy pretty much appeal to his emotions, saying that he could reunite with his sister again, and that's when it actually piqued our main character's interest. So that was pretty cool there, because it shows you Seiya's moral system. Because this episode, it shows you glimpses of his personality, where if someone messes with him, he'll beat them up, but he'll show mercy, as evidenced by the fact that he could have killed those boys that recorded him so that he could have lived a peaceful life, but he didn't do that, showing off that he does have a morality system. And on top of that, it also shows you that when it comes to his sister, he would go to great lengths to try to look for her. So that was also another cool thing established from Seiya. It makes him really, really likable. So thought I did well from that standpoint, and I thought it gave Vander some nice characterization too, when it comes to finding out that he wants the power to be able to take on gods, and he believes by using military technology and information he can do that. That was also pretty interesting. So from a character standpoint, Vander and Seiya left an impression. As for story nitpicks, I gotta admit, at times the script is kind of wonky, because there were moments where people were being shot. It wasn't that far away, and the soldiers still missed, and these are all trained soldiers. So things like that, it makes you wonder if the animations, or not the animation stuff, maybe it's the directing staff, they really need to check their shit. And then there was an instance where this guy with the sword takes down 2 soldiers. But the thing is, he hits one soldier, and it's still a shot. And you would think the other soldier would have responded by moving his arm to shoot the dude that was protecting Sienna and be done with it. Because a gun, using it is only like a few seconds, especially if you're trained a military soldier. And I've used practice guns before. Literally, it only takes you like a few seconds, even like a heavy shotgun. It only takes you a few seconds to move your arm to like the left or right side and aim and shoot. And since these are like automatic rifles, kind of doesn't make sense that a dude with the wooden sword be able to take on 2 guys. So there are things like that kind of fuck with your suspension of disbelief in this episode. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. And I'm just saying, the action sequences, I hope they're better directed and choreographed in future episodes. But there was some potential, like when Seiya used a special move against this helicopter, it looked pretty fucking cool, you gotta say. So, those are my nitpicks, but if they show up in future episodes, this will become major issues for me. But for now, I don't think it's a major issue right now. Now, aside from that, on the animation, I thought the character animation was alright, but the background animation was actually quite breathtaking. Like, some of the pants are actually well rendered, and I do like how some of the mountains are well rendered too. You can see some of the details in the cracks and all that. And then the shot near the end, when it's daytime and you can see Seiya really well rendered, was really beautiful. And it really popped, because there are moments where the character designs look plasticky and others where they looked really fucking good. And so there was that. And the opening was pretty badass too, I gotta say. So I gotta give it compliments there. The ED was alright. Nothing to hit home about, but it wasn't the worst ED this season, because there were some EDs this season that were fucking still slideshow bullshit. So gotta give credit for that too. We did a decent job. And as for the voice performances, because I did watch this English dubbed, the first part of it had some hilarious voice acting, but the second half, it improved. Especially the guy they casted as Seiya, as the older Seiya, thought he did a pretty decent job. So I'd say the English dub they did a serviceable job. I enjoyed it. And the soundtrack was alright. Nothing too noteworthy, aside from the opening. The opening song is fucking legit. I did love that. So there's that too. And taking all these factors into consideration of a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, 10 being exceptional, I thought this was a solid 7. As a guy who's watching Saint Seiya for the first time, I enjoyed what I saw. And I cannot wait for more, y'all. So anyways, everyone, these are my thoughts on the first episode of Knights of the Zodiac Saint Seiya. Damn, that's a mouthful. It's probably going to take me a while to memorize that. Y'all, comment down your thoughts on the episode in the comments below. Be sure to rate the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later if you come back for more. Alright, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.